Welcome back to another video. Is this man's career over? Did he actually do it? I don't know. We're about to find out. There's been some shit going on with Cody Ko, and it's actually really weird. I don't really know the full situations. Let's get into this.
So Cody Ko is an extremely successful YouTuber who has been very popular for over a decade online.
And what do you have to say about your rise to success?
Well, I wish I could say I had people who doubted me, but everyone knew I was gonna kill it.
I would say he's viewed as almost a reverse David Dobrik. Like, people actually think this man is funny and has good takes, and the majority has considered him to be a stand-up guy for a very long time.
Yeah, I really used to fuck with this man's videos. As of a couple months ago, and maybe more than that, I kind of stayed away from watching his videos. I just got into some other shit. But I used to really enjoy his videos, his commentary. I found him really funny. Like, I used to find myself laughing at Cody Ko's videos all the time. He definitely is a funny guy, and his videos were really sick. So I used to be a fan of him. I kind of just fizzled out. I kind of stopped watching him. But you know, as far as I know, he's a good YouTuber.
In fact, he had pretty much entered that golden boy territory here on YouTube after having such a strong reputation for being on the right side of history for so long. His career has likely gone better than he ever could have expected. Everything he touches seems to turn to gold, and nowadays he's a comedian, podcaster, writer, and even DJ. And so in this story you have him, who is now 33 years old, and the other person really involved in this situation is named Tana Mongeau. Back in the day, she blew up at the age of 17 years old.
Yeah, bro, Tana accused this guy of having sex with her when she was 17 years old. Do we know if it's 100% true? I personally don't know. I know everyone's just saying it's just allegations, there's no 100% confirmed proof, but there is a lot of people saying that there's a ton of proof out there that this happened. There's a ton of people that spoke about it. I did hear I saw some clips of what Penguin Z was saying about the entire situation, but I don't really know the full story. I don't really know if Tana's even telling the truth. It's too early to really tell from my perspective, because I don't really know the full situation. That's why I'm also watching this video, so I can see exactly where Tana's coming from and what the whole thing actually, what's the basis, of these claims. So yeah.
Told myself before I started YouTube that I was going to be different, and that I wasn't going to be like every other YouTuber, and that I wasn't going to be the sellout average blonde bimbo on YouTube. I was gonna be someone different.
She got a lot of hate online for her actions back then.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of did end up being that classic blonde bimbo on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ironic ass video.
Today I have my handy dandy MacBook right here, and we're reading some motherfucking hate comments.
With her infamous TanaCon really being the huge story against her at that time. But nowadays,
yo, what? Why? What is wrong with iDubbbz? What was that? I'd never seen that clip before. What the fuck was that?
Old, and has managed to become a co-host on a massive podcast called The Cancelled Podcast. And I've seen women wearing their merch out in public, so it must be a pretty big show. They do have millions of subscribers and regularly get millions of views per podcast. And so these two had some sort of relationship back when she was first entering the internet atmosphere. They even did some collab videos at that time.
Like, we're not friends, Like, this was organized by someone else.
I don't know her.
I've never met him.
Teach me some slang. Teach me some teen slang.
Well, I was gonna write it
Alright, so
down.
I'm way too old to be on YouTube. Obviously. She knows a whole bunch of slang and cool words because she's, a teen, whatever. So I'm here basically.
Yo, that does. With these allegations and shit, and apparently they've been around, but I guess it's got to become more popular now. That does not look good. Like, him saying all that shit just looks weird, bro. It just looks sass, dog. Like,
Just to learn some teen slang.
And apparently back then, Tana was a massive fan of this man Cody before they had ever even met.
No, seriously, I'm just your biggest fan. Like, this is such an honor. Like, oh my god.
Well, now Cody has found himself in some extremely hot water because recently this clip from a live recording of the Cancelled Podcast had gone viral.
You've ever had sex with? Oh my god, no one look at me, Cody Ko.
Nah, that is crazy though. That is actually crazy. Like, bro. I mean, I guess he deserves to get outed like that if he did do that shit when she was 17, which is insane, by the way. Weird as fuck. But yeah, nah, that is some crazy information for Cody Ko fans out there. Like, damn, he must really be feeling trash right now, because damn, they really like, and people are not fucking letting him off with the shit. Like, they are on Twitter, in his comments on YouTube. He has to respond to this at some point. I like, he can't just ignore this forever. It's a huge thing.
Delete the videos. I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that. What? Sorry.
And obviously, the internet is always going to be the internet, and people started digging, and the timeline was looking suspicious, as Cody is quite a bit older than Tana. And so now Tana took to one of her latest podcast episodes to go into further detail about these allegations.
I've tried to talk about this a million times, and I feel like I never have the right words. I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25. Yeah, it happened.
Now keep in mind, this all allegedly happened during the course of a Playlist Live event, which is hosted in Florida, where the age of consent is 18 years old, meaning this would be a crime. And yes, this did allegedly take place almost a decade ago, but she says time and time again here that it was hard for her to wrap her head around this situation over time because she has experienced much worse trauma in her life. And so in comparison, this situation never crossed her mind as an issue until she got older.
It's honestly disgusting, and I also think when you're that age, you think you know everything and you think you're way more mature than you actually are. And then from our age now, we can look at it in hindsight's 2020 and it's like, oh my god, you were a child.
Yes.
You were young.
I think a lot of things like that happened to me as well, because I really did have to grow up severely at a really young age. When I look back at the Cody situation,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it is a very weird situation. She was 17, and I think he was like 25 or something like that. Like, he should have known better. Obviously, like, she's a minor at that age. Yeah, it's 1 year until she's an adult legally, in a lot of states and a lot of countries. But him being like 25, bro, you're 25 years old, bro. If you were 25, I think he was 25. What are you doing talking to a 17-year-old, bro? You should know better. You should literally know better as a 25-year-old man, bro. Like, what the fuck is going on? You should have the maturity to understand that this is still a young girl, and even though she might want to do it in that moment, it just ain't right, bro, because she's still young and she doesn't really know exactly 100% what she's doing and the consequences of what she's doing. You know what I'm saying?
it is, I definitely am like, why was he doing that? You know what I mean? And there were so many situations. There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a Playlist Live where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up. And I can look at that and be like,
what the
why?
Nah, that's crazy though. Like, being warned, pulled to the side and being told, yo, this girl is underage, and then still go immediately afterwards and do that shit is crazy. That is absolutely weird as fuck. Like, what the fuck?
Were you doing that? But I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me.
And you didn't, at that time, it's like you don't really know what you're doing and like you don't really think it's wrong. But again, it's like he was 25.
She even goes on to make the point that it was hard for her to come forward with this because she still doesn't necessarily look at Cody as a bad person.
The thing is like, I still watch his videos. Like, I do think he's really funny. And like, it is this weird thing of like, it would be easier and harder, or it would be easier and less hard if he was like
Easily hateable.
Yes.
To really put this more into perspective, this is someone who is the age of a junior in high school, hooking up with a famous man 7 years after he...
Nah, this picture also is crazy. It just makes him look weird. Like, especially if you literally, bro, you almost, like, you pushing 30 years old, bro. And you get warned. And you get told, and you 100% knew exactly what you were doing. It's just weird as fuck.
Graduated. And that's not even to mention all the power dynamics with her being a big fan of him before they ever even met, And with her being very green to a new industry.
Yeah, that is weird as well. If you are a big fan of somebody and you look up to them and they like, you hold them in such a high regard, you're gonna want to almost do anything for them. Like, that's the type of, if you really look up to somebody that much and they like an idol to you and you see them as this huge celebrity, there's gonna be a power dynamic there and you're gonna want to do whatever to please this person. So that's also very, like, it's just, this whole thing is just weird as fuck, bro.
Moves very fast and, like she says here, can be very sexual.
I was just hooking up with people and having so much fun, and like, because I grew up loving him, and I think you know what I mean? Like, I was just like excited and a fan, and like.
She also makes the point here that because she is disliked a lot online with a historically poor reputation, and because Cody has been so universally loved, people tend not to believe her about this story.
I know for a fact if you swapped out Cody Ko with someone that like people didn't like that much, I would be receiving so much more sympathy versus like the amount of people in this industry who like want to protect him.
With that being said, there is this witness named Gabby Hanna that corroborates with her story.
I told a guy, I saw him make.
I'm not gonna lie, Gabby Hanna's record also isn't the best. And this is where it gets a bit wobbly. Tana's record ain't the best. I don't see why she would just come on and lie about this. I mean, she clearly still likes the guy. She clearly still has a love for him in terms of what he does and where he's at and the type of person that he is. And that sounds weird to say. And even though it is allegations, we do have to look at the sources of where this information is coming from, because it isn't 100% confirmed. I do think, like I said, I don't think Tana really has a reason to lie about this whole thing. But Gabby Hanna is not a reliable source. I'm not gonna lie, that whole shit that happened with her high scum a couple of years back was crazy. She is just a weird, low-key also not, you know, all right up there mentally. So we'll see where this goes, but we just have to keep that in mind. And like I said, I do think Tana doesn't really have a reason to lie about any of this. Let's just make that clear.
It's with her story.
I told a guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage. And I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know. I know she like looks a little older. She's underage. Watch it. And he's like, oh my God, thank you for telling me. And then
This all kind of reminds me of when—
Yo, thank you for telling me, and then going to fuck is crazy. Thank you for telling me, and then going to do the deed is crazy, bro. Like, what the fuck?
When the sketchy actions of David Dobrik came out years ago, and all of his fans were riding really hard for him, trying to throw his creepy ass bail just because they enjoy his content. It is very hard for fans to think of someone they've watched grow for years in this way, but that does not mean that Cody has not been feeling the pressure of this slowly coming to light, as Tana claims that he even reached out to her about it.
I think I said something about it online and it was starting to surface, and he texted me like, are we good?
So for weeks now, since this story first started bubbling up due to that viral clip, Cody has now been deleting any comments or Reddit threads that mention the situation at all. And so now many people are obviously demanding some sort of response from Cody. And I do want to say there has been this greater conversation online about the age of consent.
I mean, he could come out and just take accountability and explain himself and, you know, talk about what actually, you know, his side of the story. He isn't doing that, so it kind of makes him look more guilty, I'm not gonna lie. Has he changed from like being a weirdo? I don't know. I think he does have a girlfriend or wife now, and he's gonna be a dad soon. So he clearly at a different point in life, but I just don't know, bro. Like, he needs to take accountability, or at least come out and tell his side of the story, because him just keeping quiet and deleting comments and shit like that makes him look guilty. It's weird as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Lately, and I just want to say, like, beyond the physical aspect of it, I feel like it's really more about the mental differences. Like, when you're 16 to 18 years old, you feel like you're on the precipice of adulthood, but you really aren't even close. But because you feel like you are maturing, you will likely try and do things that adults do. Like, I would even call 18 to 21 still a pre-adult phase, because you still don't know shit about life. And most people are still going to do extremely stupid things during this time with their newfound freedom. Now, by the time you turn 21, obviously you have more rights. You've had a couple more years to make your own choices. And by the time you're 20...
Again, that also depends on the country, because in where I'm from, 18 is basically the basis for almost everything you can do legally. So that's America, 21. Other countries it's 18. In other countries it's 17. But I do think that 18 is that standard that every single person can agree on, is the point where you become an adult. Now obviously you're not a fucking fully fledged adult. I'm 20 years old. When I was 18, I also thought I knew fucking everything. I still don't know everything. I'm still growing as a person. I'm still learning. And compared to when I was 18, what I know now is like, it's night and day difference. So that already tells you something in terms of the development from year to year.
Like Cody allegedly was, you should know better and just be smarter than to even think about spending time with anyone who is still a minor. So we need Cody to say something here. Like, could you imagine if this was James Charles at 25 hooking up with some 17-year-old high school fan of his? There would be hour-long think pieces posted left and right. I also want to know...
I think James Charles did do some weird shit like that also. I think he was like texting underage boys. Like, James Charles did do some weird shit. He did get flack for it, but it wasn't that much flack the way he became cancelled and everyone was talking about it. But if I can remember correctly, he was texting underage boys, asking for like nudes and shit. He was doing some weird shit. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that.
What you guys think will happen if this turns into a he said, she said situation, where he just denies ever sleeping with her in the first place. Because like this woman says, people already view her as dishonest due to her past, and with the other main witness in this situation being Gabby Hanna, who also doesn't have a very good reputation online, just being very realistic, this could 100% turn into that. Now with that being said, I do believe he does have a pretty large female audience, and while it is my belief that he will always have a platform, I do want to know if you guys think this story could do severe damage to his career. But I guess for now we're just gonna have to wait and see what he has to finally say, and we definitely still have to hear him out and hear his side of the story. But I want to know what you guys think about this entire situation down below. I also want to thank you guys for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, him not saying anything about it and deleting comments, deleting all these tweets and shit like that, it just looks weird. It doesn't help his case. But we are gonna wait. You know, these are all allegations. None of it's confirmed. We're gonna wait to hear what he says, if he fucking says anything about it. But I don't know how he's gonna duck this forever. Like, it's a huge thing, bro. You go on his YouTube comments on his latest videos, you click news, some comments, and all of the comments are about the situation. Obviously, they're saying he's deleting shit, but you can't delete fucking hundreds of thousands of comments, bro. Twitter's going crazy about this. He needs to come out and say something about this, bro. But anyways, that's the video. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 500 subs as soon as possible. I really appreciate it. Peace out.
I've been doing well, I just touched the mail, baby, can't you tell? Bitches throwing tile, they want new Chanel. Almost lost the swag, but the boy prevailed.